Hello, everyone. My name is Shane Jenkins, and welcome to another episode of Chess Not Checkers. This is a particularly special episode because I am in the Great America First Warehouse here in Ronkonkoma, New York. I'm with Joe the Box and John the Blanket, and this has been a remarkable weekend. I've had such an amazing time, and I just really wanted to sit down because um, maybe we can get some shots for some video later on of the studio. But man, this is such a beautiful place. And I know this place wasn't built overnight, and I really just kind of wanted to. Um, yeah, I don't think you meet patriots like this very often, and so I wanted to really just get you guys' story and just kind of see how this all came to be and what motivated you guys to go this direction. And so Joe showed me a wonderful weekend. We went to downtown Midtown and went to a protest with DVS 7.0 across from City Hall. We triggered all the libs in New York by driving around with the van with the music playing really loud and flags waving everywhere. And we got to see Times Square. We went to a concert and saw Outlaws in Kansas. Like, it has just been, and I'm leaving out a whole bunch of stuff. It's just been such a phenomenal weekend, and I'm so thankful to y'all for inviting us up here and allowing us to film also the inaugural edition of Liberty's Cage. And then I got to see, in the DC Gulag, I used to watch live from Studio 6B, and now they're doing a show here every Friday night. And I got to go on their show and meet those guys, and the amount of love that I received from that group of men, those was just phenomenal, man. And the love that you guys have shown has just been amazing. And so I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you guys so much for having me and having Sarah McAbee and letting us, inviting us into your home, because this place is full of treasure and it's beautiful, man. So thank you for having us.
I can't thank you enough, but I can only tell you, Shane, you're only in here because of Sarah.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I mean, she is the beauty, I'm the beast. That's for sure. I mean, so
She's the brains and you're the brawn.
yeah. I mean, that's it. That's fine. I'm okay with that.
Well,
Um,
you did air your first podcast here for the Patriots Cage or
Liberty's Cage. Yeah.
Liberty's Cage. Yeah, Liberty's Cage. And I thought it was a mind blower. I can only say that because the people that were here, it was a live event,
Hmm.
and we didn't have a lot, but we can, as we continue to grow, there's more and more will want to come in. But I think the dynamics between you and Sarah Maccabee was really what elevated the place. I mean, sure, you're in the America First Warehouse, and sure, you're behind the judge's bench that I put you behind.
With
I
the
was
gavel and the scales on
yeah,
it. Yeah, it was good.
just so you knew what it was like to be on the other side.
Yeah, no, and it's something, um, she has a very unique perspective. Her husband, Colton Maccabee, was locked up with me in the DC jail for several years, and so she experienced it from a loved one's aspect, from a wife's standpoint, and got to, she saw what was going on to her husband in there, and then got to deal with the stuff that I had no idea about that was going on the outside, and so obviously I was dealing with it from the inside. And so I think we have a very, because, and again, all the, Liberty's Cage is for justice reform, and that's what we want to help. It doesn't matter if you're a Democrat or Republican, we want to make the prison system better. And so she has a very unique perspective on it from being a mom, a daughter, a sister of somebody who's in prison. And then I have the perspective of somebody who's experienced it and gone through it on the inside. So,
I think one of the scariest thing for me, I mean, I was always afraid to get in trouble and to go to jail because that's the last thing I wanted to be was jail. You had the fear because being jailed already gave you a perspective of bad people, bad life. They should go to jail. They should be punished. They should be. And I think most people look at it that way, don't you think?
yeah, no, for sure. Um, it, people go to prison for a reason. There are innocent people locked up, right? But I think, in my case, like, found out I was adopted when I was 13, took a really dark turn. And so people go through things in life, and people make bad decisions, and people have traumas that happen to them and react in adverse ways that aren't good for your freedom, and it causes you to get locked up. Or you may, for instance, one of the things that after I killed my stepdad, I feel like I had PTSD and I had a hard time maintaining a job. So I started selling drugs. And then what does selling drugs lead to? It leads to doing drugs. And then selling drugs and doing drugs and led me to prison. And so it's not an excuse, but I feel like these things impacted my life. And it made it difficult for me to function as a normal human being, which led me to making decisions that really led me down a dark path to prison. And so we want to try to help people heal and deal with those traumas. But I really don't want to talk about prison reform right now. What I'm here to do is I wanted to hear you guys' story. I see you got your skinny brother, John the Blanket, and then you're the fat brother, Joe the Box. So,
Wow,
I wanted to hear.
thank you.
How did you guys? How? I mean, what? Tell me. I mean, you told me about your dad, and then you guys started. I guess he had a moving company. I want to hear
Dad's
all.
a Marine.
Yeah,
Your
we were
son's a
always,
Marine?
proud to be Americans from my upbringing, and our dad, and he was a Marine, and he kind of raised us that way too. So we knew the Marine Corps hymn by heart, and
Okay.
we had to stand up and put our hearts on when they did the national anthem and stuff. So we were always very patriotic and loved our country. I never followed any kind of politics as much as I do now. I wasn't involved, making sure I voted every time. And when Trump came down the escalator, I had already lost a son to fentanyl. So I'm already mad that the borders are open and the Chinese people are sending us in there. And we were very angry about that. And then when Trump came down and said he's going to close the border and help solve that fentanyl problem, we were all in. And we got carried away. We wound up meeting Mickey Babbitt, and she was definitely a start for us. And when she first came here, we had already had honoring her daughter Mickey. We didn't even, Ashley. Right. We didn't even know Mickey, and she came in. My brother and I, we got a Save Ashley on our Corvettes, and then we have an area dedicated just to Ashley before we met Mickey.
Right.
So when we finally got her and we were involved in going down to the J6s, I will say one of the things that I really liked about it is I met so many good people that came out of that prison or that were out there every night singing to you guys and praying with you guys and stuff. So that part I'm really happy about. But, now that the truth's coming out, I'm really getting excited. I want to see the truth come out.
So then that's kind of more recently, but but this more started for y'all like COVID time, right? So I know New York, I know y'all had Cuomo killing the old people in the old folks' homes, and so y'all were kind of under this COVID tyranny, right? And I guess is that kind of when everything jumped off for y'all more?
Yeah, we were involved big time with the COVID that went on. We had our trucks running all the time for the hospital and doing the COVID vaccines. I have a girl of mine that her dad died in that old age home with Como. So we would go visit him, and he was a frail man anyway, and they wouldn't let us into the home to touch him or see him. We talked to him through a window.
That is awful.
So talk about some hard things to go through, and that whole time we could have been hugging him and holding him because it was a lie.
Well, we were operating our moving and storage business, corporatetransferandstorage.com. Find professional moving and storage.
There you go.
Bing. So we're running that, and we were very involved in the health side of the industry, the hospitals in particular, and we were doing a lot of work for them because of Hurricane Sandy, another big catastrophe that happened. And I consider myself, and I consider my brother and I entrepreneurs. We took advantage of opportunity when the opportunity comes. So Hurricane Sandy came, and we were doing household goods at the time. We had about 10 trucks, 10 drivers, 10 crews. We're all working very hard around the clock.
And you're delivering goods to the people who are suffering and need stuff?
Well, no, that didn't happen until after. We're doing household goods moving. We're moving rich people, high-end, full pack. We've been doing it for 35, 40 years. We're bed buggers. We're furniture men. And I was growing the business through networking, and we would have parties here at the warehouse with a live band, and we would give other businesses a table to advertise their business and company, and that's how people started coming to the warehouse. And it was just this one building that you see. It's about 7,200 square foot. We had the open down the side. We had the band outside, and we were building our business. And Trump was helping our business. He became president in 2016. He was elected in 2016, so he was inaugurated in 2017 of that January. That's how that works, right? So he's in business, and we see him coming. We started showing some of his, we were showing the debates. I mean, how funny was it when he said, like, oh, one more step, you're going to fall off the stage to the guy on the end, Or he would say that.
Was that Jeb Bush? He said that too?
Right, yeah, look at Jeb. Oh, tough guy.
And he said, my mother, and he said, your mother should run.
Your mother's
Yeah, he
tough.
was brutal. But we had a lot of those shows, and people came here to watch on the big screen
Right, and
and
that's
be
kinda
part
what
of it.
got
You know, we,
me.
we still have events that we go on. We have a couple hundred people here, and there's still people that come in. I've never been here before. I can't believe this place. How come I didn't know about it? You know.
Well, so this kind of started as it was a gathering, and it was kind of a small convention, like for people to advertise their business, and then it was a little celebration because you got the band and the people are drinking, having a good time. So it was
Yeah, well,
networking.
The networking was a part of the business that I really enjoyed.
Mm.
But then when Trump got involved and started doing, his the whole primary situation, then he was doing his rallies. So we would open up for the rallies. We found this young group of patriots that had rallies on a regular basis, the Long Island Loud Majority. Unfortunately, I don't think they exist anymore, and I think that the devil came in, threw money at them, and they faded away because that's what it does. You're not going to come in here and buy Joe the Box or Johnny Blanket. Maybe for a moving job for $6,000, we'll do something like that. But that's what we do to make a living. But you're not going to change my way. You're not going to change Shane Jenkins. He's not going to, come down the stairs and be different anyway because it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and what we were doing, we were promoting people that had the same like mind as us in America First, just like Donald Trump, not somebody giving us lip service, what we got stuck with. You know what I mean? So we're out fighting every day to get America First candidates into this warehouse.
It's been lip service for about 35 years, if you really think about it. I mean, we started our business in 2005. We learned from our dad. My father ran a very successful company, Allied Van Lines. He was huge in the industry. And John ran a company in Florida, and my brothers and sisters all had their own business. I ran New York. So we understood how to make money. We understood that you can't spend more than you make. It's very similar to the way the country needs to be run. So we really love Donald Trump, right? Johnny Boy, we got behind him. And as he became president, great things happened. But John mentioned his boy and the loss of him through the fentanyl
absolutely.
process. I mean, so many American families have lost their lives with that. So we were into Trump, and then when we lost Joseph Louis Verteber, Johnny's boy, at 24 years old, in the city of Baltimore, a real shithole ran by the Pelosi's and, through the years. It's another shitty city run by the Democrats, drug-infested, murder, rape, the whole 9 yards. And this young boy got caught from somebody that he met for the moment. It didn't matter. So just like you, Shane, I have PSTD because I was there with the boy.
Yeah.
I witnessed this. I had to get up in the morning. I had to call my brother Johnny and tell him his son is going to stay here in Baltimore. That was, and my PDS, when I came back here to New York, and I was on my hands and knees and crying, and, I was called a lot of bad things. I wasn't, it wasn't a good time in my life, and I'm sure you can relate to that. And then when God said to me, He's got a message for you, Joe. You're going to take this to the next level. You're going to bring out the truth. You're going to bring out awareness. And I made friends that lost children to fentanyl. People were coming out of the woodwork supporting our effort and what we were doing. We became friends with Tom Homan, the border czar, Tom Homan, and some very great patriots flew us out to Phoenix, Arizona, where we went to the America Project event, bringing awareness to the border through Tom Homan and his efforts. We followed Tom down to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. We teamed up with many other great patriots like Scott Lebedo, the artist, who I have that piece in my office that was signed by Donald Trump. So we really stepped it up. And then as the pandemic came into place, the pandemic started coming out, right? So Trump's running the country. We're kicking ass with our businesses. The pandemic comes. Well, that's when Jesus said to me, Joe, you're going to build something spectacular, and I don't have any money to do it, Lord. How is it going to happen? How are we going to raise that money, And the pandemic came, and the hospitals and the state and the government hired us to hold the product. They said, Joe, we got 50 trailers coming in. And I said, 50 trailers, 35,000 square feet. I'm doing all the math and what I'm going to need, and all I had was this one place. Right? But I told them, yeah, of course we have it. I can take it. So you got 50 trailers of supplies coming in? They go, no, we got 50 trailers of masks. Then we have 50 trailers of gowns and gloves, and we have machines, and we have defibrillators and ventilators and floppulators and bipulators and whatever else we had to do around the clock, dude. We were putting them together, right, John?
Oh, it's crazy.
And as the buildings, we needed more and more space, the company started going out of business. First was the Broad Hollow Theater. When's the last time you've been to the theater? Well, you won't, because the theaters were shut down. You weren't allowed to go to the theater. Right? How stupid it was.
So
That's what helped us get started. So we had some nice backdrops from the theater.
okay.
And then we
Like the
hung
New
that
York
up,
City.
and we hung up all the warehouses. And General Flynn called my brother, and he said, "Put this guy Cornicelli up on your pallets." 'cause
Oh,
pallets
yeah, that's a good
what
one.
we store household, and we had rows of pallets because we were in the moving business.
Yeah.
And then he called you,
Yeah.
right, General Flynn.
Right, we were pushing the America First movement, and I didn't know General Flynn, but we had some friends in together, and this one gentleman was trying to primary the existing,
Congressman? Or,
yeah, the Rhino, whatever they are. So he came in, and then I get a phone call from General Flynn. Would you mind supporting this guy? And I said, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, sir. Who am I talking to?" And, General Flynn. I said, "Of course I was General Flynn." I stood at attention right away, And my dad was the Marine. He had wanted me to make sure I told Flynn that he outranked him.
Yes, because every Marine outranks anybody in a different branch.
Every Marine. See, he knows because Shane's old buddies are all part of the services. He knows the Marines. He knows the paratroopers and the special forces and all of these guys that were locked up.
all January 6th guys. Yeah, they're all
70, 80% of the people that were locked up
Police
that day.
officers and
Shane, were all-
military. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, out of the 1,600 people, 72% were either law enforcement, prison guards, or military. It's crazy.
Well, Joe, I think that you got one of the most impressive phone lists that people that I know from that we started this movement here, and we met some people. I mean, probably half of Donald Trump's cabinet had been here.
Yeah, it was funny because I was talking to Kash Patel. I was booking him for his book to come in here, Government Gangsters. Perhaps you read that, the manifesto on how we're going to take care
I
of
read
our
it in
country
prison.
back. You read it in prison. I get one signed for you specifically. Well, I'm on the phone with Cash, and then I had gotten a phone call from Rudy. Can I pick him up at the airport? I said, Rudy, I'm sorry. Can you hold on a second? I said, GF, I got to get going. Rudy's on the other phone. Rudy, oh, sure, absolutely. What time you coming in? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on a second. Oh, Tommy Holman, you want me up in Watertown for your event? No problem. I'm going to be there for you. And then all the way down the line, Kellyanne Conway. I mean, it's just been an incredible, incredible ride.
I feel like God is, whether it's from the theater things, like these things just kind of, you were already kind of doing the gatherings here together. And it's kind of like God was like just kind of maneuvering you down this path. And he's like, I'm going to put this person in your way. I'm going to put this person in your way. And I think
We don't like to make money off other people's misfortunes, but these other businesses, because of the COVID and the lie, they had to close down.
well, in Texas, you could go to the bar, you could go to the strip club, but you couldn't go to church and you couldn't go to the theater. So tell me how that makes sense.
Well, even like if you don't wear your mask and you go into the restaurant, you have to wear it standing up. But if you're sitting down at the table, you don't have to worry about your mask because the level.
You got to lower the mask to put it in your mouth. But you said something right there, Shane, and it brings to the attention on Thursday nights here at the America First Warehouse. We have Bible study that starts at 6 o'clock. We're doing the book of Matthew right now, and it's about 8 or 9 people. And I really like to try and start a men's Bible study out of here as well, Johnny Boy. That's something.
Are you streaming that or anything like that? Are
Well,
you
this
sharing
is
that
what we
on-
want to do. We do.
Yeah.
We're not streaming it yet.
Okay.
And we also have right after that at 7 o'clock is a church that comes in here. Now, when we took over all of these buildings, Shane, we had so many offices that we weren't really using. So somebody came to me and said, Joe, we have a homeschool that wants to do artwork and some music classes that they've shut down at the schools. Can you give us a classroom? So I said, sure. It was perfect. Each office has a bathroom and everything else. So we put a school in there. And then I have Nelson Medina, the artist. He had a studio that I had given him because he got thrown out of his studio. They weren't doing any more art galleries, art shows. So I went down the road. One of them in particular, I got a phone call, and they said, Joe, there's a church that got thrown out of the fire bar in the basement. Do you have a space for them? And I said, a church? How? Sure, absolutely, a church. So we started.
Like, how could you say no to that? Really?
Yeah, I couldn't say no to that. And the thing that killed me about it was a French church, so I didn't really understand. I spoke to the pastor, the prophet. He's a prophet, Diamond, and he really said some things to me. I got to tell you, Shane, that blew my mind. On where I was going to be and what was going to happen. But what really got me was the church when they translated it into English. It was Christ to conquer the nation.
Oh wow, yeah.
Christ to conquer the nation in French, and I was like, dude, you got to do that. So we've had many events in here. They're in here Thursday nights. And Pastor Crystal, through the power of Jesus and God, she does pray and heal, and she has not, but God has healed through her,
right?
church
Yeah.
and through her effort, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you believe like that something could happen?
I mean, I believe God. I don't ever underestimate. I've seen what God can do in my life, so I don't underestimate. I don't underestimate anything that God can do.
Well, one of the things that I really liked about the services on Thursday nights, they played music, and the music has drums and guitars, so it's not like, the old church that I grew up in, the Catholic church, and it was all, hymns and, more opera-like. So the church here put the music up and the words up, and they had the new Christian music, which is very moving, you know what I mean? So I had, went with Joe a few things, and I loved the music. I could feel myself being moved, and one of my friends that I met through the J6 was Gary McBride. So
yeah.
Gary was a pastor in his past life also.
Okay.
So I said, Gary, I don't know. I went to the church and I got chills, man. I could just feel I was just moved with the music, and he had said that is the Holy Spirit entering you. That's what that's from,
Yeah.
And I loved it so much that I even went down a few months ago and got baptized.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was rebaptized. My mom and dad, what do you mean you were already baptized? What are you doing? You know what I mean? I go, well, I don't think that hurts. I think anything with God is good. Anybody that has that faith.
Baptism is an outward profession in front of the body of Christ of the testimony of an inward transformation. So when you feel like you've had an encounter with Christ and then you profess it by baptism through showing it you're saying, I'm standing up saying, I'm a Christian, I'm going to walk accordingly, you're all the body of Christ, and I want you to hold me to that and hold me accountable to that. And so,
Well, I try to live the right life, in the way He would want me to. I'm only human, and I don't have the best of my past experience, my past life. I did a lot of damage. I hurt a lot of people. I don't want to live like that anymore, And then when I got baptized, I'm going to say that was a day that really changed me, and I'm so glad that I did it. And my mom and dad said, we're so sorry we didn't go, because they realized it's only.
Why are you doing it now? We're sorry we didn't go.
Yeah, I wish we would have had gone, and they stick to their Catholic beliefs, and I'm the same way too. But I really enjoyed the music, and it really gets me that I want to go there,
Right.
So
So God has brought y'all to this point, and what I've seen, we filmed our first episode of Liberty's Cage here. Now we're doing a special episode of my personal podcast, Chestnut Checkers, here tonight. And this is John the Blanket and Joe the Box. Kind enough to open up this venue for me to be here and to do this. But so, what do you, I know you recently took on Studio 6B on Friday nights, and I see you've got there's the Patriots, and I know there's some other shows that I'm going to miss them. I can't remember. There's another one.
Justice for All.
Justice.
Yeah, your boy James Justice. He was
Justice,
a lot of fun.
okay, yeah, I got to be
He
on
does
their show.
investigative work. He really finds things out.
There's another one too, isn't there? Is it
Yeah, well,
something the hard way or something. What is it?
No, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know if we did that one. That was with Fred Rubino, the comedian.
Okay,
And
but
then-
they're doing it here, right? Or is that,
Yeah, they do their
so-
podcast.
So
Saturday.
you've
Yeah,
got
Sydney
these-
Gross, the Jewish princess. She does her show here.
So you got a lot of stuff being filmed here live in studio. So where is this going? Is this going to be the new this is going to be the new Real America's Voice? This is going to be the new Newsmax, or this is going to be the America First?
We're going to be a voice in the wilderness. We want to work with any of those big television stations or, the right wing side. When you hear that the news that everybody's been watching since we were younger, the CNN, MSNBC, and their ratings dropping another 50% on top of already dropping 40%. Nobody's listening to anymore. Now they're going to these podcasts and streaming that information so you can get the truth. For me, I get the truth from my president, Donald Trump. Right. So I read I follow his Truth Social.
Right.
I get my alerts whenever he has something to say.
Yeah, me
so when
too.
I go to talk to
The
somebody,
little
I
red
know
light.
what I'm talking about. Okay, you can't bullshit me. You know what I mean?
No, that's right. No,
I like the truth from the POTUS, and that's important too. They have a couple of these special apps and stuff too. I think I have one that he had slept for 3 hours yesterday, one nap in the afternoon, and gone to the bathroom twice.
He's
I do get the
amazing,
little
man.
red, the truth social. It's a little red flashing light. My
Yep,
phone will
yep.
read it to me sometimes.
Yep. So I want to get the real news, because I take umbrage. Anybody says something bad about him, anybody says something about Melania,
Yeah.
I don't have the second to listen to it, and I don't want nothing to do with you. You know
Right.
what I mean, I'm.
Well, you guys have a show too, right?
Yeah.
We do the.
What is
Every
that one?
Tuesday morning from 11 to 12, you can tune into the America First podcast. And
Okay.
that's, it's all dudes, all right? We had a couple of girls on there, and then we changed it up a little bit because there's a perspective that I want to give you, and it's from the man's perspective. So that's on every Tuesday morning, 11 o'clock. Johnny and I host it. Right now, we have the great Fred Rubino, the comedian, and Kevin Downey Jr. comes on.
Okay.
So they really, they step it up, and it's a lot of fun on Tuesday mornings.
So it's like the new man show without that loser Jimmy Fallon. on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Those guys are so bad.
Man, I tell you, Kevin Downey Jr., man, I really took a liking. We did, we had some shots and had a good time. I got to be on the radio show with him this morning. That was really,
Yeah, I'm getting jelly. You've been hanging out a lot with him. I wanted more time with you myself.
Well, he's got a famous name, so when you think
Yeah.
of Kevin Downey Jr. or
yeah, it's like Robert Downey Jr.'s brother or something.
Yeah, or the other. There was another Downey that had a show, a talk show too, like a Maury Povich or the Jerry Springer style
Jerry
show.
Springer,
right,
yeah.
right.
So there was
Maybe
another
that's
guy,
what-
Kevin Downey Jr.
Maybe that's what we need, the new Jerry Springer to be here. That'd be Jerry.
Yeah, we got a lot of potential, and I do appreciate you coming down here. When you talk about what's going to happen or where is the America First warehouse going, we right now have tremendous faith in God and the direction that we're going. We need sponsorship like everybody else does to keep things going. We're trying to create sponsors. We're doing commercials right now for a lot of local businesses between the podcast, between the shows. Because if we're pounding out, 4 or 5 shows a day, then between each show is a 3-minute or 3 commercials worth of, or 6 commercials.
So how do
30
people
seconds.
find the America First warehouse shows?
Yeah, that's a good question.
I'm glad that's a good question from John.
Thanks for asking, John.
You should know this, Johnny.
Skinny one.
It's all simple through the website right now, www.theamericafirstwarehouse.com. There's a lot of words there. I can spell it for you, but I don't think I have to. I tried to make it real simple. The America First Warehouse, and that's what we are. When you talked about the press the other couple of minutes ago about losing 40, 50% of their total volume, we do not have any tolerance for fake news. We have tremendous events in here. We had the fashion show, which was pretty phenomenal, the MAGA fashion show, which is all about America First and the beautiful dresses and suits and clothing that conservative manufacturers are making that was shut out of the shows in Manhattan, right? So we do that. But at the door was one of the fake newspapers, whether it was New York Times or whether it was Newsday or it was one of the fake news.
Yeah.
And I stopped him at the door and I told him that you are not welcome here. You're not invited here. Well, geez, we're going to say the news, but you can't tell the truth.
Yeah.
So what makes you think that you're going to come in here and say the truth? I know what you're going to do. You're going to body slam us. You're going to paint a fake story, so therefore 0.
They're going to pretend to be nice, and then they're going to write a crappy article about you.
Shane, you would have loved this, man. I gave them a chest bump. Like, I just kept hitting them with my chest because I know I can't physically handle them and stuff. And I said, don't bump into my chest. Don't bump into my chest. Get out of my warehouse. And I pushed them out the door, out the back door. I wouldn't let them in.
Yeah.
You think that we get blocked and ghosted on a lot of stuff that you post out there? Because you should be able to see us on Rumble.
Yeah, we're on all
X.
the websites. It's not as bad as it used to be. I like X because I think that's the best one to go until Truth comes out with their program. Truth's supposed to come out with the ability to do what we're doing here
Okay.
on their program.
Well, I like that. And the beautiful thing about the last 4 years under Sleepy Joe was, I was obviously in jail, but
I don't think anything was nice.
But I got to see, the American people do what they do best, and that's innovate. When they started getting canceled on YouTube, they came out with Rumble. When they started canceling people from the banks, January 6ers especially, like Bank of America or whoever it was, then they started Old Glory Bank, the uncancelable thing. And that's just like the same thing. Like, I feel like this podcast and y'all's is guerrilla media, where it's just real American people telling the truth, and you're not gonna, when I tell my story, did I break a window at the Capitol? Yeah, I did. Did I assault police officers? Yes, I did. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna tell you what I went through, why I behaved the way I behaved, and if you don't like it, that's okay, and if you do, then okay too, But I think that it's important that people get the truth, unfiltered, not trying to spin some fake narrative. To sell somebody some hog, some fake news, and I think that's the beauty of what we've seen now, especially moving forward, is that we have these
Platforms.
Yeah,
You got
platform,
these
yeah.
platforms, and Real America Voice, and Newsmax, and Lindell TV, Mike Lindell. It doesn't matter to me. We have our own. We put ours live all the time. Every Tuesday, everything is live. It goes out on all the basic platforms. You can find us. We're carrying about 5,000 people a show when it comes in,
Yeah.
which I understand is pretty good. But I look at like Alex Jones or Steve Bannon and Charlie Kirk, and they're doing 100,000 people. That's really good.
Yeah.
People are paying attention. We have a great message here at the America First Warehouse. We're going to add more and more to it. We don't care. We believe that God will guide us through this process, whether it's Global Ascension Studios, whether it's Be America PAC, whether it's Real America Voice or Lindell or Salem or Patriot. These are the platforms that we share our platform on. We want the truth, Shane. We want what you did when you ran up to January 6th and watched Victoria
White,
White
yeah.
get beaten in the head by Bagshaw with a freaking police stick.
Yeah.
We understand you took one on the head too for us.
Yeah.
That you are the patriots that we want. That's why I will do anything for you and for Sarah and your cause at the America First Warehouse. We want to make you known and out to the country. And you'll help us with that, too. You got a couple of friends you can bring in and help us keep pushing this word, right?
Yeah, we're going to work on getting the Proud Boys up here. We've spoken to Enrique, and then I think Stuart Rhodes will be.
Were
up
you
here.
a Proud Boy before, or you became
No,
in prison?
so I joined a special chapter of the Proud Boys called the Lost Boys that were inside the DC jail together with the original Proud Boy members, and so we are a special limited edition Proud Boy patch. This is the Lost
Yeah.
Boys. So
I kind of like that, Shane. Can we help you here with that? I mean, I like Enrique, too. Are you
Yeah.
close with him?
No,
Have you-
absolutely. We're going to work on getting. What I would like to do, and I thought this would be great, is like so. I was thinking that we could coordinate. Like so, you say we're going to try to come up here every month to do one of the Liberty's Cage. Like say, we'll bring Enrique up.
Right.
We can get him on our show. You can get him on your show. He can go on Studio 6B, and then we're kind of all working together.
What an incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not. I didn't say, hey, listen, let's plan doing this, Shane, but this is exactly what we want to do.
No, and then, I mean, it could be Joe Biggs, it could be any Zach Real, all those guys, Kelly Meggs, Stuart Rose, any of those guys, or my friend Lego Man, Robert Morris, whoever, Jeff McKellop, the Green Beret. All these people are my friends, and they have great stories to tell. They've all their families have endured stuff. They endured stuff. We endured it together on the inside, and I think it's important that America gets to hear these stories. And that's what I love about this. I interviewed one lady named Leah Hoops, who does election integrity in Pennsylvania, and you guys. But everybody else has been a January 6th group of people. Scott Fairlamb is going to come on. Scott Fairlamb's a guy close by in New Jersey, former UFC fighter. He's got a
We
book
like
out.
that.
He's got a book out. Good dude, tall, 6'4". We used to play basketball in there. Left southpaw. Like, you'd love to have him. You'd be like, that's Shane's big brother right
Yeah,
there. So,
I like it already.
I'm talking these people are solid people. Love Jesus Christ, and love America. And then we want to stand up for what's right. And are we perfect? Absolutely not.
It's so true because even I got caught up into listening to what they have to say about these people that went to January 6th and tried to take over the government and shut down Congress and everything, and then you have an opinion that man, these guys must be some badass dudes. I was so blessed to be there when everybody got out. Not everybody that got out, but out of the D.C. jail area, we were out in front. I was there, and they came out, and you could see the parents' faces when I think there was one pastor and his two kids went in, and they held him for
Shane?
years.
The pastor with his two children, they hid in the woods.
I don't know who that was.
Well, they took them and they held their kids in the woods. Lived in the middle of the country for 2 years. So they
the
wouldn't.
brother and sister.
West
Brother and
Virginia.
sister,
Yeah,
they figured-
I haven't met them. I've talked to them
and
on
the
social media.
father and the mother the two nicest people you can imagine, and I'm thinking that, everybody that went into that place is badass, man. They were really mad, and they caused some ruckus. Another great example was Guy Reppert, you know what I mean? I'm thinking this guy's a badass, and when I go to meet him, the calmest, passionate, nicest guy that wouldn't hurt a fly. You
The
know what I
only
mean?
one
But
that
they-
lived up to your expectations is Shane
so
Jenkins.
far, I finally met a badass, his actual badass that was in there.
But you
But
know
I'm
what?
blown
I
away
think-
by the way these people are. They all came out. These people. Here I go again. I don't like to use that.
These people.
These people that were held against their will on January 6th were all Jesus-loving, God-fearing, American, love their country, regular people just like me.
70% are from the armed services.
Yeah, you got to hit us with the use guys. You know what I mean?
Use guys.
Yeah, use guys.
Yin's twins, use
Use
guys.
guys,
We're from
yeah.
New York. Use guys over there was, wrongfully prosecuted, arrested, and held against their will. And like I said, I thought they were badass dudes. This guy's the most pleasant, nicest guy I
But
could
you
imagine.
know what? But we are, right? But if you're going to steal our country away from us, if you're going to try to beat the crap out of us, you know what I mean? We're not. That's what this country. That's like you think about in World War I, World War II, the 16-year-olds going to fight on the beaches of Normandy and those kind of things. Like those are heroes. Those are badasses. You know what I mean? Like we
Lied to get themselves into the service. Lied about their age. I think my dad did too.
But you can only push a real man in America. You can only push so far, and I don't care. Like I love Jesus, but at the same time, you're not going to beat a woman in front of me. You're not going to beat an elderly man in front of me. And when I find out you shot and killed somebody inside, there's only so much you can take. And so, it's that way across the board. On top of, what it says, if tyranny becomes law, rebellion becomes duty. And I feel that way. Like I wore a 1776 hoodie with the Betsy Ross stars on it to January 6th, because part of me was like, something needs to happen. They need to figure out what they're doing. And so, I wish there was a peaceful way to do that. And my intentions were, if we were going to go inside, we were just going to sit down and make them handcuff everybody. Like if you're going to go in and do a sit-in like they did with Code Pink, or when they were protesting Brett Kavanaugh, or any number of these things, they bum rush the building, they go in there and they just sit down, and they're like, "You're not taking us out of here," and then they have to zip tie them, each one individually, and they have to drag them out of there.
That was done after January 6th too. A group of people went into
Hamas.
the middle of the Capitol, and that one person got arrested
That was an insurrection because they actually did stop
with intent.
formal hearings from going on.
Yeah. It's the obstruction of justice, because they said the 1512 charge that we got. They said we obstructed Congress from being able to conduct regular business. And when that happened with those people, it was actually regular business, because the left will tell you January 6th is just a ceremony. It's not a real hearing, but until we go to trial, and then now they charge us with this extra charge because they say it was an official hearing, because it really is an official hearing. It's the official certification of the Electoral College votes. That's what they do on that day. But so they can catch your show on Tuesdays. So is there anything else in the works? Like, you got any breaking news, or is anything happening? Like, how do people come to the warehouse? Like, do they just need to find out when there's going to be an event here? Do you need to vet people? What do we need to do? I'm sure people are going to want to know, like, how do we come see Joe the Box and John the Blanket,
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait that starts happening. And yes, it is happening. We're utilizing every avenue of the social media. We're using every avenue of the America First media that we can to get it out there. And I'm just going to continue to hit it. Every weekend, we got Studio 6B Live. You know how much fun that is. On Saturday night, we have always another great event to follow up, whether it's karaoke night, or whether it's line dancing night, or whether it's a fashion show, or whether it's the conservative artists coming up on June 14th for President's birthday and Flag Day.
Okay.
I mean, there's always something coming on the event center, in the warehouse. We're going to take advantage of you, Shane. We're going to take of you with your contacts and your relationships, and we're going to show your podcast out of here, and we're going to bring you in and synergize. When you come in on once a month, it's going to be a party like they had on January 6th when you guys all went down there to party at the Capitol. We're going to do the same thing here at the warehouse.
And what a great place to come to here for all these events. And one of the things that stands out to me that I really am impressed about most with the America First Warehouse is how the veterans are welcomed. So we get some veterans. They're old timers. veterans. I mean, they're
That's
already
right.
at the end of their ropes, but they don't miss an event. They come here. Joe makes them comfortable. We put chairs and couches out for them. You know, they're not
Lattes.
uncomfortable.
Lattes, yeah.
It's such a nice, comfortable event. We got to flick the lights out to get them to go. They want to stay. You know what I mean? We have to flick the lights. It's time to go. It's time to go because it doesn't end. The people that come here, they don't want it to end. They love our country, and we love our veterans, and this place is for you. So get over here and hang out with us, man.
Right now, don't
Yeah.
waste any time.
You could be
Don't
out here
fast
watching
go.
this live right now on this first
the
time
America
show.
Warehouse first. No, the AmericaWarehouse.com.
Sean, come on, get it
America
right.
first.
The America First Warehouse. I'm screwing it up. Take two. The AmericaFirstWarehouse.com.
America First Warehouse.
That's the
America
worst
First
thing.
Warehouse.
I never learned to read in prison, so sorry.
Yes,
Well, me
you
and Joe
did.
work out that opening monologue. The America First Warehouse, the greatest in all of the land. We look, I can't get it right. Joe
You
does
got
a
it
good
right.
job.
You did great.
Well, I mean, I think, you know, I got the story that I wanted. I just really wanted to, you know, I want to say it again. Thank you so much for, this week. You know, I feel I've been doing a lot of healing. My heart has been hurting. My mind has been hurting, and it was traumatic going through all that. And you have played an instrumental role in me being able to heal and
To
it's
be
about
out, to be free,
Yeah,
and
I've-
to see there's
yeah.
people that love you like
Yeah.
anything, man.
No, man. You know, I got to go tell those veterans you were talking about, thank you for your service. And they're like, man, can we take a picture with you? And they came up on the stage with me. One of them brought a cane.
All
Could
right,
barely
great,
walk.
awesome.
And it's just like, man, this has been so good and healing for my heart and my mind and my spirit. And it gives me hope. I didn't expect, you know, because typically, and I'm not going to lie, Scott Fairlem, you're maybe the exception, but typically New York people, loud, obnoxious, like, golly, like just kind of overbearing. I'm like, you know, I'm like,
John, we could take him, you and me, can't
Yeah,
we?
but both of
Two
us together, you know, just
I'm-
because we split it in half, you know, we're still one person.
I'm more like yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Like, you know, I try to not to be.
Yeah, it comes with your deep
try to-
voice and
until
your,
it's time to take care
politeness.
of business, and it's like whatever. Yeah, I think that's a southern.
well,
thing.
they wouldn't know by looking at you that you're a nice, polite young man. You know what I mean? So that right off the bat is kind of tough to swallow, but
But
we know about you,
You know,
now.
I will confess, I had a preconceived like expectation of what I thought New York people were going to be like, and I was blown away by the support downtown
that's
in
nice.
New York, and I was blown away with the hospitality that you guys showed me here, and I just can't thank you enough. And
There's so much more of us, Shane. There's so many people that feel the way we do. There's so many people that, you know, they like to think and believe that they might have done what you did or might have done with all these great J6 Patriots have done, you know, but there just need to be the push. They need, you know, the incentive, or they need the, you know, to look over their shoulder that they got the support that they need, and people
Yeah.
are going to jump in with it, and that's what this place provides.
Yeah.
You know, it's really been bringing these J6 to the head, to all these people on this table over here that you see. We love this country, and we're not going to let it go. We need you, Shane. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So I know that you went through a tough time over there, but I'm going to tell you, as an American citizen, we need you. We need you. We need your network. We need your friends. We need you and your spiritual guidance and the way you're going to do it. And if anybody is blessed around here, it's me and my brother and the America First Warehouse to have you and Sarah here as our friends.
well, just know, America, that did you want to say something, John?
No, I just don't want us to give up. I mean, we are, you know, people in our government that are saying that they're on our side and they're not. You know what I mean? We need America first, people that actually care, you know, that have faith in God and, you know, get this name out for the America First Warehouse. We're not giving up. You know, as difficult as it is,
Never
we know
surrender.
there's something good coming in the future, and just meeting people like you and being able to be part of your time means the world to me. I'm honored to be a friend of yours now.
Well, I wanted to say sorry for the loss of your son and sorry for the loss of your nephew, but we know that the elections have, you know, I think Steve Bannon always says elections have consequences.
I think that jerk off Obama said that, didn't he?
Well, stolen elections have catastrophic consequences.
And we're living through it.
Yeah, and you know, and you guys have a wound in your heart from losing your son from the open border that Biden created and allow fentanyl to pour across the border. And now we see what's going on in L.A. and San Francisco, and all these immigrants that these people allowed across the border. This is very serious stuff. People are going to be dying. People are losing. They're destroying millions of dollars of property. People are going to be dying, and it's all because of somebody that got put into office, whether you believe was legitimate or not, that was
But that's all over now. Now they're going to be in there sending the guard in there and
Right.
clean that mess up and arresting these people that deserve it.
we need the American people to step up and run for city council, and need to run for dog catcher, whatever it is, school board, for Congress, for state Congress and state senators, and then federal, the federal government for Congress and Senate. We need people to step up and work and come to places like this to find like-minded people, to have your back and to, know that they got your
Kamala couldn't get the job as the dog catcher, though, right? Isn't that
No,
what somebody?
absolutely not. She is the dog. But we just want to say thank you so much, and don't forget, America, we're playing chess, not checkers.
Good end there. That was good. So, your show, who puts that out?